Africa don't need to go in like hang behind China also, Africa doesn't need to go and hang behind Russia, Africa should like stay on its own, Hey there, welcome back to a brand new video. My name is Musa Jala. In this video, I'm gonna be reacting to a video by African Insider, and the video is entitled "More African Leaders Are Speaking Up Against Lies from the West Without Fear." So with no further delay, let's jump into the reaction.
Hi, if you've been following Afro YouTube channels and blogs, you definitely have come across these clips showing African leaders shutting down, Western leaders. In the case of the Congolese president, when he shut down the French president who tried to lie in front of journalists. And in the case of the Namibian president, who also shut down that top German diplomat. So more and more African leaders are now coming out feeling emboldened or boldly coming out to speak up against Western lies and against Western narrative, to an extent of even opposing the Western policies being imposed on them. And allow me to play some few clips showing the instance where African leaders shut down or basically spoke up against Western lies.
Here, for example, the number of Chinese people living here in the meantime is 4 times as much as, for example, the German community. And so far, it's not precisely the same what takes place all over the world. There are differences. And what I'm...
Mr. Speaker, yeah. What is your problem with that?
That's a really good question. What is the problem with that? Like, Namibia is not Germany, so like, why should like the German government have like problem with the amount of Chinese living in Namibia, I don't know. It makes no sense, But that's a really good question,
Why does it become your problem? It looks like it's a more European problem than our problem. Yeah. You are so sorry for us. I don't see... Chinese will never come and play around here. As Germans not allowed to do that. Which Germans are doing, by the way. You talk about Chinese. We allow Germans to come offer visas here. Red carpet. Our people are harassed in Germany.
That is so true, though. That is like so true, That is like what I don't understand about most African countries, right? To travel to Europe, it is like really so difficult, to get like the European visa, for most Africans. It is like really so difficult, right? But going to Africa as a European is like so easy, I don't know they do it because they want like the tourism money, but it really doesn't make sense to me, because like most normal countries, like country like Norway, right? If you tell like Norway you have to like apply for visa to come here, they will like say, okay, no problem, but if you want to come to Norway, yourself you have to apply for visa also, and they're not gonna give you special treatment because like from the United States, or something like that,
Even diplomatic passport holders in Germany, I'm not your puppet. So why Chinese talk about Germans? How you are treating us there? Chinese don't treat us like that.
Because, as you have said, if we don't respect ourselves, nobody is going to respect us. To some other engagement with other countries. Now we have been invited for Russia-Africa Summit. We have made a decision, very respectfully as heads of state in Africa, that any engagement with other partners must be an engagement of equals. But what happens continuously? When others want to engage with us, they don't want to deal with a troika. They want to invite 50 heads of state.
That is like so true, Africa is like so big, it's so diverse, they have like so many different problems, They have like, it's like really so different, So like you saying like Africa-Russia summit, what is that even supposed to mean? What are you going to achieve from that, Why can't we have like a Russia-Kenya summit, or like a Russia-South Africa summit, Like Africans, we have to like really put like respect on ourselves, Like, it's really so sad, but I feel like most African countries don't like really respect ourselves, And like how are we gonna get respected, We have to like improve our educational system, We have to like give our people jobs, People have to like start making good money, Because I guarantee you, like most people will leave Africa, If most African countries like understand of like South Africa, or maybe understand of like Morocco, most people wouldn't want to leave their country to travel to go anywhere else,
So we go to a meeting, just explain to me what kind of outcome you expect where 50 heads of state are sitting. Everybody is asked for speak to 1.5 minutes. You speak to one for 1.5 minutes. What kind of engagement are you going to get? You're going to get nothing, right? The best that you get is photographs.
Let's take one particular aspect of your policy positions.
Yes.
Do you think aligning yourself with Vladimir Putin is going to be good for South Africa?
But that's what it is now. South Africa is in alliance with Russia, with India, with Brazil, with China. So why are you asking me as if it's some policy that is going to be implemented
Africa right
after
now.
I took over? South Africa is in alliance with Russia now.
South
Yeah,
Africa.
because they are part of the BRICS nation, you know, like I think that's Brazil, Russia, China, India, and South Africa, you know, yeah.
Right now calls itself non-aligned.
In the context of the war, but these are two different things. South Africa is an ally of Russia. Now, the second question is, where does South Africa stand on the war? It says I'm a non-aligned in relation to war, but Russia remains South Africa's friend. So we cannot create confusion around there.
But you know, like the thing is also like, right? Why are we other countries like pressuring like places like China, you know, who are like supporting Russia, you know? Why do they feel the need to like pressure the African countries to be like, oh, you must go and like not you must go and support Ukraine, you know? I'm not saying the way it's right, it's wrong, you know, like Russia should not be fighting Ukraine. That's not the point of this discussion, you know. But my point is like, why is it like okay for other non-African countries to like support Russia and not get a problem, but like if African countries say, oh, you know what, I don't support Russia, I don't support Ukraine this war, you know, I'm gonna like abstain, but then they should like get a whole lot of problem for that, you know. Like Africans, I feel like we're not respected, you know.
Don't create an impression that it is Malema who's going to come and create an alliance with Russia.
But there are some very specific...
Actually, I will,
if
go,
I may
I
say
will
so.
go beyond that. I will go beyond the friendship with Russia, and in the war, I will align with Russia, and I will even supply the weapons to Russia. Because Russia is in a war with imperialism, and any agenda that seeks to push back imperialist agendas is well within the policies of the EFF.
You know, I think this notion of international rules is very comfortable for some people to use when it suits them. But
That is so true, you know. That is like so true, you know. Like international rules and stuff like that, and it's like really because you know, like nobody is like forced to like implement them, right? So like some countries they're like, oh, you know, it's against international law if it suits them, but if it's like against them, then like, you know, yeah, we can make an exception, you know. But that is like so true. This lady is saying, you know.
But they don't believe in international rules when it doesn't suit them because they don't apply international rules or law equally in all circumstances. So you can't say because Ukraine has been invaded that suddenly sovereignty is important, but it was never important for Palestine.
That was a really big bump, though. If that is the case, then like, oh my God, the war is crazy, though. Yeah. Like politics, I don't know. It's like really so crazy, man.
And now the question, why are more African leaders now speaking up? Why are they getting this boldness to speak up? And one answer is multipolarity. So first of all, we have to agree that for a long time, Africa has been impoverished, has been mocked, and has always been this kid on the block that everyone mocks and makes fun of. And despite Africa having the resources, the minerals, and natural resources that the other continents don't have. So multipolarity is that there's China. China came to Africa and started giving some African countries foreign aid.
That's the thing that need to change, you know, like even though like the world is like becoming multipolar, right? Multipolarism, like power is being balanced. But still, you know, Africa don't need to go and like hang behind China also, you know. Africa doesn't need to go and hang behind Russia, you know. Africa should like stay on its own, you know. We have the resources, we have the farmland, we have the water, we have like the population, you know. We have like everything we need to become successful, you know. So like, why do you need to go and like be like, oh, you know what, I have to like go and like support China or support the West, to like become successful, Let Africa be Africa, Let us develop ourselves, Let us not be dependent on anybody else, Let us stay on our own 2 feet, That's like, in my opinion, that's like the best solution,
Grants and development loans to a point that some African countries now feel that they do not need the West. Because for a long time, it has always been the same thing where we have these strongmen and dictators in Africa staying in power for more than 40 years because they are friendly or they are friends of the Western countries. And they had to do just one job, not to meddle or disturb the activities of those Western countries in their own country. Basically, allow them to come in and exploit and steal your minerals, and then you stay in power forever. And a good case is Cameroon. We have Paul Biya, who has ruled that country for more than 43 years. The guy is 89 years, and he even does it. Sometimes he forgets that they're having elections in that country, because from what I read is that he lives or stays in Switzerland in a castle he bought and rules through Skype.
Really? That cannot be true, That cannot be true. Like the president of Cameroon, they say he lived in like Switzerland and he ruled Cameroon through like having like Skype call and stuff like that, That cannot be true. You have to be a joke, That doesn't make sense,
You can look it up. And the reason why he has never been removed from power is because France and other countries protect him. There's a time actually Cameroon had this coup and some French almost had a coup, and some French mercenaries were seen there to stop it because they don't want to lose that leader, and in his place they get someone who is conscious. So that's how it has always been. But then multipartyism in some few other countries that have democracy is that the new leaders now do not need the West. They turn to China. And that's why now they can.
It seems so simple in my head, but I don't know how difficult it's going to be to implement. But like, I feel like African leaders should like stop looking to other people and like look towards yourself, because like country like Norway, you think like another country make Norway to become a rich country, Switzerland, you think another country makes Switzerland to become a new country. I'm not saying like don't trade with other people. Of course you have to trade, you have to do business with other countries, but you don't have to like be dependent on other countries for your success, Like you don't have to do it,
Openly speak up. So that is the main reason, right? Multipartyism. But there are other reasons like having free media, because for a long time, news across the world, was controlled by Western media. We had BBC, I think, in almost every African language. We had BBC in Kiswahili, BBC in Lingala, BBC in Kinyarwanda, BBC in Luganda, and BBC in Kirundi, in so many other languages. We still even have the Voice of America, VOA, in the same languages. So Western media had their own local language versions to feed us with the fake information from the West. They used to change the news, and because of the targeted audience. And we even had them in Amharic and Somali. We have VOA Somali. Can you imagine we have BBC Somali? So today now we have free media, the YouTube channels, the blogs, and then individual countries are getting their own digital TVs and making their people access information.
That is actually true if you look at it, because like I don't know about like individual country like on digital like TVs and stuff like that, I don't know how helpful that is, but when it comes to like YouTube, when it comes to like Instagram, when it comes to like social media in general, like people right now, they are saying things for themselves, because like maybe like 10, 15 years ago, like the picture people had in the amount of Africa versus today is like totally different, because of social media, so people, they are like showing Africa out, they are posting videos, they are like going on tours, they are showing the cities, because of social media, the perspective of Africa have like totally changed, and it will only get better with time, so that in my book, that's a really good thing,
Right information. But still, multipartyism is huge, and it's being fueled by now what is going on in Russia, which has led to China teaming up with other countries like Brazil, South Africa, we have Iran, India, Saudi Arabia. And this has made African leaders and African countries realize that they may not need the West after all, because everything they need, they can still get it from East. They can get it in China. They can get...
Bro, for me, that's the problem, you know, like, this guy was like narrating the video, like Africa Insider. That's the thing I don't agree with them, you know. Like, we don't need to go outside of Africa to find things for Africa, you know. Africa can like be, you know, Africans should like look inward, you know. Like, try to do business like for other African countries, you know. Try to like trade with other African countries. Like, try to like improve. Let other African countries help to like improve each other, you know. If you are saying like, oh, you want to leave the West because of imperialism, you know, because the West is a bit imperialist, then you should not go and like make China to become the new imperialist country, you know, or Russia, you know, for example, you know. So like, it's better like people try to like stay on their own feet, you know. But like, enough of the mumble. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you do, remember to like it, comment down below. We'll see you in the next one. Peace out.